Refurbished Nachivubo Stadium launched while Mukwano land title cancelled. A very good evening to you tuned into UBC TV. It's Thursday, the 25th of April, 2024. Welcome to News Tonight. We'll start with a look at the top stories. President Yoweri Museveni commissions Nachivubo Stadium. Minister of Finance's 125.8 billion request for wages stalls. Minister Sam Mayanja orders for the cancellation of Mukwano land title in Kianjojo. While URA staff contribute 18.8 million towards Mother's Day celebrations. Good evening once again. It's me, Micheal Jordan Lukomwa. Welcome aboard. It's News Tonight. In a first story this evening, Uganda's oldest sports facility, that's Nachivubo War Memorial Stadium, has been commissioned and opened for public use by His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni. The refurbishment by one of Uganda's leading businessmen, Micheal, is estimated to have cost $200 million. We have details to the story.
After years of refurbishment, Ham's Nachivubo Stadium, that is miles better than the original facility, has been commissioned and opened for use. The humble duty was performed by the President of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Museveni, who applauded the proprietor, Micheal, to whom a 49-year lease was granted. The President toured the 30-seater facility that is now officially a multi-purpose stadium with netball, basketball and boxing and some others to benefit. President Museveni applauded Micheal, who he exemplified as a true patriot who is intent on ensuring Buy Uganda, Build Uganda is a reality.
I want to congratulate and thank Micheal for the good work he has done here by being innovative and knowing that you can get prosperity in Uganda. This is what we have been telling you. Why? Because NRA was a Ugandan product. It was not a product from UK, from KAR, no. Amajiga Uganda. Now, that spirit of self-sufficiency, we have put it in economics, we have put it in politics. And thank Chigundu, because he has been able to show that attitude, not only in this project, but even in other projects.
In its old state, Nachivubo Stadium was the country's only facility before Mandela National Stadium and was opened in 1926 to honor Uganda's World War veterans. The stadium proprietor, Micheal, thanked the president for the trust and vowed to ensure the stadium lives to its intention of providing home to sports.
And Your Excellency, I'm so humbled for the fact that ever since I left in 2014, that was December, I've always had your support and your blessing. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. We've had a lot of hardships here and there, but within the perimeters of reason, it would be unjustified for me to simply narrate the story of the hardships I've had when I've got such a project today being commissioned by His Excellency. For I take it for an obligation as a Ugandan that it is my own responsibility to devote myself, but at the same time, develop my country collectively.
The following discipline, Your Excellency, will be undertaken here with immediate effect. Number one, football. The games of football will begin immediately after this commissioning. Number two, Your Excellency, is basketball. Behind us there is a basketball court. That also will begin immediately. Number three, on your direct face, Your Excellency, on that other goalpost, we have a netball court there. The game of netball will be played here. Your Excellency, boxing. You visited a boxing ring inside here. And Your Excellency, you know the history better than I. It's well known that very many boxers who have represented this country come from Kisenyi area here. And I want to thank him for again reinventing the wheel of the game of boxing. Because now here we will be able to have a gym and a boxing ring which will allow other international competitions to get back to Uganda.
Nachivo Stadium has undergone renovation several times, notably in 1954 and 2013, before this state-of-the-art improvement that has elevated it to a world-class status. In the short run, Nachivo Stadium is expected to address the ardent need to football clubs that lack home grounds. Its proximity to the city centre makes it a viable target for many, and with many games now possible, business is likely to boom. Grace Joyce Kemgisa, UBC News.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has urged institutions to support families of those who die in line of duty, since they do a tremendous role in putting the country to order. Museveni says that although the late John Kagezi received various threats from her killers, it did not deter her from continuing to serve her country. This was during the commemoration of the John Kagezi's life at Kololo Independence Grounds.
Following the murder of a great state prosecutor John Kagezi 8 years ago, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions deemed it fit to honor her legacy annually for the tremendous work she did in ensuring criminal justice prevails in the country. Thursday morning, the ODPP held the 7th John Kagezi Memorial Lecture with the theme Prosecution of Transnational Crimes to Foster Security and Socio-Economic Development. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni graced the event at Kololo Independence Grounds. Museveni applauded the office of the DPP for always remembering the legacy of John Kagezi, however advised institutions to always support families of patriots who die in line of duty.
Remembering Joan because she stood for the truth. Because what can cause cowardice is for somebody to say, if I die, my family will be forgotten. I still have young children. Let me be careful so that I don't die and they suffer. So that means that we who survive must look after the families of the people who die struggling for justice. And I'm glad we looked after the children of Kagezi.
He further said some of the alleged killers of Del Kagezi were dealt with in the outskirts of Congo, although asked the head CID to reveal the master plan of the offense.
To avenge the death of our people who are killed. And that's what we are doing. We have the suspects, but Magambo, have you got the one who sent them? Who sent the suspects?
We have very good leads on the people who paid these people and sent them. And Your Excellency, as usual, we are going to brief.
The Director of Public Prosecutions, Jane Francis Sabodo, highlighted the achievements of the ODPP of, among others, committal of the alleged suspects in the murder of Kagezi to the High Court Criminal Division.
At the end of 2023-2024 financial year, Your Excellency, the ODPP registered 125,600 cases at both the magistrate and the High Court. Your Excellency, we handled 115 of them already. Allow me to report to you, Your Excellency, that last year we recruited 100 new state attorneys.
The Chief Justice Alfonso Winyitolo stated the need to empower the investigative ties of the country to ensure criminal cases are dealt with expeditiously.
There is need to strengthen the investigating capacity in this country. There is need to strengthen the prosecuting capacity in this country. Are complicated. The people who deal with that, the people who engage in that enterprise are sophisticated. They are connected.
In attendance was the Speaker of Parliament, Anta Mong, who said the legacy of Kagezi lives.
Today, we gather here to celebrate a great lady. What a pain to the country, to the women of Uganda, and to all Ugandans.
Sharon Nyambe, the country director UNODC, was the keynote speaker at the event and cited that organized crime steals peace from the victims and infringes on their rights.
These actions contribute to corruption and instability, creating substantial obstacles to upholding the rule of law and promoting effective governance within a country.
President Museveni was awarded a trophy by the ODPP for his tremendous support towards the institution. The 7th Joan Kagezi Memorial Lecture was attended by other dignitaries: Justice Minister Norbert Mao, Deputy Chief Justice Richard Butera, High Court judges, development partners, among others. Rebecca Nantongo, UBC News.
Thank you so much, Rebecca Nantongo. Uganda has been elected to host the 11th Africa Regional Forum on Sustainable Development, slated for April 2025. The decision to award Uganda was taken during the 10th Africa Regional Forum in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Prime Minister Robin Nabanja has just returned, and we have the story in detail.
The Africa Regional Forum for Sustainable Development is an annual event organized by United Nations Economic Commission for Africa in partnership with African Union, African Development and United Nations Family to reflect on Africa's progress of sustainable development. This year's event was held in Addis Ababa, where the Prime Minister, Robin Nabanja, represented the country. Uganda was elected to host the 11th Africa Regional Forum on Sustainable Development, slated for April 2025.
To be victorious in a bid to host the 11th African Regional Forum on Sustainable Development next year in April, everybody, all those member states in African region will be in Kampala for the same.
The Prime Minister, Nabanja, says Uganda will also chair the Africa Regional Forum Bureau on Sustainable Development, housed under the office of the Prime Minister.
Uganda has been elected as a co-chair to represent East Africa in the Bureau, which is a very big achievement for the country.
The event is expected to attract over 2,000 delegates into the country who will also explore the investment opportunities the country has.
You know, we are competing in the African Union and everywhere for opportunities like jobs. We shall showcase our country, Uganda. You know, Uganda being the Pearl of Africa. We shall benefit in regional trade. We shall also benefit, you know, we are competing globally when it comes to investments and many other things.
The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayewa, has reiterated that Parliament will continue to support the State House further the presidential skilling program, which is mainly aiming at fighting unemployment in the country. Tayewa, who is also the Member of Parliament for Ruhinda North County in Mitoma District, made the remarks at the graduation ceremony held at the Presidential Skilling Hub in Kigezi, Zonal Presidential Industrial Hub in Kabale District. A total of 462 trainees, of a big number of them were girls from the first and the second intake, completed their vocational training and were awarded certificates in 7 disciplines. Tayewa thanked members of Parliament, especially on the Budget Committee, for appropriating money for the presidential hubs to ensure that more young people are trained hands-on skills.
Ebintu ebi President Museveni atire mamani kurwanisa obworo twaza kurwanisa obworo mukango mwe mukasha Mungu mugume murya boro turaza kubashamura tubajumburira obugiga hati abokwanka aba bana ababimwareba barakira n'abadiguri habokwa baba bakutandika ka business bayike baratandika kutahiza akasente.
aha bwenki nabashomesa kashanga ngo eminyeto mu Uganda niyo kukira utagira mirumo naha bwenki yagira te kakora cy'abana bakugira mirumo ninga kwekozesa aha bwenki abana batunga za diguri bakabure mirumo hariho n'abatashomera batayine mirumo naha bwecyo ecyo kiyakozire guest of honor cyo warebera abana ahantu baho bujurizi nibekozesa bagire ntasiyo mu makagabo babinga mu bworo.
Kikom habu tines tuaresire tukareta sabundu kusha ibindi byo na president akabituha tuija tuatanika kushoma batwegesa na mindset kuna amazire kwega bakery and pastry na atahakumara 2 weeks kuna ichire makerere banyeta na atanika gukora cakes nyine business yanje ne budget Reina Cake House.
Minister for Information, Communication Technology and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, is content that Uganda is on the right path for the digital revolution. Baryomunsi, who says that the future is digital, is alive to the fact that technology is here to stay. This, he said, during the opening of a 2-day retreat for all agencies under the ICT Ministry, an engagement also meant to orient members of the Parliamentary Committee on ICT on sector activities.
We want to thank you so very much for this day. Indeed, this is the day you've made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it.
The pillar for infrastructure has a number of entities and agencies that we are using to implement it. We have, for expanding connectivity and outreach, we have the National IT Authority that is rolling out the backbone. We have Uganda Telecommunications Commission, that is a national telecom operator. We also have, I will put it both in infrastructure and later on in skilling, Uganda Institute of Communications Technology, and we also have the National ICT Hub, the Innovation Hub, where we support innovators from.
Going forward in the next financial year, I think we shall come and sit here before we try to deal with anything, so that we look at MTEF, because MTEF, first of all, provides sorting out what should come in the following year's financial budget. Now, once that is done, we had conflict at the State House one time with the President when Parliament was trying to change figures. Then the President said, but you are taking over the responsibility of the executive, because this is the function of the executive. Yours is a profession. So I am raising this so that we review our method of work.
As governments talk of ICT being a priority, but then this has not translated into allocation of resources. So the sector is still under-resourced, and yet if we are going to have accelerated transformation in this country, we must inject resources into the sector. Actually, some studies indicate that for every $1 you inject in ICT, you get $4 out of that. So going forward, we just want to get an appreciable understanding of the role of ICT, the digital economy, the digital transformation as we move forward, and hopefully in the near future, then ICT will also become a priority in terms of the budget allocation.
State Minister for Lands, Dr. Sam Mayanja, has ordered for the cancellation of a title belonging to Mukwano Group of Companies Limited, covering 245 acres in Chenjojo district. The decision comes in response to complaints from villagers who were evicted from their land, with their houses demolished and crops damaged, particularly in the villages of Kinyantale and Kakorogoto in Chenjojo district.
Initially, the arrival of Mukwano Group of Companies Limited in Chenjojo district brought excitement to many, as some found employment opportunities and avenues for earning income, including working in tea plantations and other ventures. However, tensions arose as the alleged ownership of 100 acres by Mukwano expanded, leading to the eviction of residents from 200 acres of land, as reported by residents and local leaders.
Mukwano Group, just as our people have maintained the peace and they signed the consent, please let us consent and live in unity.
Local leaders, including the LC5 chairman of Chenjojo and RDC, joined others in condemning the eviction and destruction of property and crops.
And you see here, which is occupied by tea, was occupied by our local people, 800 of them. But they were removed and evicted in a very funny and queer way.
He has been able to guide us on the legal perspective and also the humanitarian perspective. I just want to promise him that we are going to follow his guidelines.
Representatives from Mukwano Company, accompanied by 2 lawyers, faced difficulties in defending their actions as villagers accused them of causing harm.
Tukatuikiranganize buli omu naruga mu kwagenze ekityo kubinga mu bantu ndi eviction tukatatekeremu awukakaro kwikiranganiza.
Kakama Moses from Global Anti-Corruption Initiative Limited, who volunteered to assist the residents, criticized area MPs for not supporting the affected residents.
Compensated for crops, compensated for time wasted, compensated for legal costs and disturbance costs. And we are going to follow government legal settlement plan.
After deliberation, Minister for Lands Dr. Sam Mayanja ordered the immediate cancellation of Mukwano's 200-acre title deed, citing fraudulent acquisition.
Akawairo atano mwenda 1A. The district land board teyinza kuwayo taka, teyinza kugabaliza oba kuwayo freehold.
The extra 260 acres, that is invalid. It was not available to be allocated, so that title is invalid and is cancelled, and Commissioner Land Registration is directed to engage the process under Section 91 of the Land Act to get it cancelled.
The minister further condemned Mukwano Company for violating laws governing Uganda by evicting people from their land. Dr. Mayanja established a committee led by Chenjojo RDC and 9 others with a 3-month mandate to reach a final decision on the matter.
The committee has sat, which we have set up to be chaired by RDC, and they have agreed on the compensation, on all the issues of compensation, and the people have been paid. Then they will get the report. Then when Zori commodities will take it to the district land board, and that will be evidence that the people have agreed for him to take that extra land.
This decision has brought relief to residents who have endured oppression, leaving them hopeful for justice. The atmosphere among the residents in Chenjojo is one of jubilation, as Minister Mayanja's intervention promises a resolution to their plight. Mario Nawori and Jamil Sekaja for UBC.
The midterm review of the NRM manifesto, 2.5 years into its implementation, reveals that the government has achieved 35% of its commitments, with 46% underway and 19 pending. Wills Bashasha, the Director, Manifesto Implementation Unit at the Office of the President, noted an improvement from the previous score of 20% in May 2023. Despite progress, corruption persists as a major obstacle to the manifesto's successful implementation.
As we anticipate the manifesto week scheduled for early May 2024, the NRM party has presented its findings for the mid-term review of the 2021-2026 manifesto.
the achievement or the performance of this gives credibility and also ensures that the party can win the next election.
Wills Bashasha, the director of the Manifesto Implementation Unit at the Office of the President, stated an increase of 15% in overall achievements compared to the previous year.
35% and add 46. You can see that if we were able to deliver this, even if we concluded the 46 in the remaining period of the term, that would give us like some 80-something%. And I think that would not be bad for the country and the performance of this government.
Implementation progress has been cited in the Ministry of Health, particularly in disease prevention, among other sectors.
Under health, we have done very well in terms of disease prevention and control. All of our 14 regional hospitals have been equipped with CT scans, and they are all there for us to see. And then there is also oxygen plants that have been availed, and we believe this has also moved us very well.
However, challenges such as land acquisition, high levels of corruption, and limited resources for development projects remain significant hurdles.
We are aware that most of these projects, they need corridors, they need where to pass through, whether it's road, whether it's water or electricity, they need where to pass, and that's land. And you know that land in this country constitutionally belongs to the citizens. And this has called for compensations. Compensations have now demanded more than the money which is needed for the project. That has also become a breeding ground for corruption and all other related, even delays of implementation of these projects.
The Minister of State for Kampala and Metropolitan Affairs, Kabyecho Fatogabye, commended the security sector for its performance but emphasized the need for further implementation to meet the manifesto commitments.
I appreciate all the achievements, especially in areas of defense and security. Indeed, you've done well, but you've not yet there. It's not yet Uhuru. I need 80%. So far, so good. You are there. What was their score? About 60. Okay, I would give the 10% you forgot because she told you, you forgot this, you forgot this. Okay, you are at 60%. But indeed, really, defense, you know the trust we have in you.
Despite challenges, there is optimism within the NRM for achieving manifesto commitments by the end of 2026.
It is very critical. And I thank you, Director. It is very, very critical that NRM, the ruling party, is not only seen, but it is done. It does. It's not only seen to be doing what it promises, but it has really done it. And we think the previous mandates has been done because we fulfill our commitments, and we want to do the same in this manifesto.
Other ministries, departments and agencies are expected to present their manifestos to assess their achievements early next month. Justin Nakami, UBC News.
We thank you so much for watching. That's half of what we have for you this particular moment. Let's take a short break. On return, we have a brief discussion about some interesting topic to do with the achievement of the President of Uganda, His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, especially the big 10 achievements of the President. Do not miss.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar, my boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the
Osmosis.
Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200K to stock my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hustle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? We're sorting. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
Once upon a time, there lived identical twins who gave birth to beautiful princes and princesses.
Their mothers gave their babies' bodies a lot of care by applying on their skin with Baby Junior jelly.
Though dried detergents and everyone would admire their glowing skin. Fun fact, Baby Junior prevents diaper rash, dry and sensitive skin.
Moms all over Africa love Baby Junior jelly. Baby Junior's the skin. No more worries anymore. Baby Junior.
Baby Junior.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar, my boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200k to stock my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hustle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? We're sorting. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
Gold. We all want it. That soft yellow glow with subdued sun in your hands. That precious polish of elegance. To hold it is one thing, but to taste it is everything else. Relish the satisfying taste of a beer, unmatched in quality, unmatched in consistency, and with 23 Global Gold Awards. A beer unmatched in gold.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar, my boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200k to stock my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hustle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? We're sorting. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
Nyati Motion Pictures brings you Tuko Pamoja Kigezi segment. If Uganda is the Pearl of Africa, then Kigezi must be the Pearl of Uganda. Learn about how the Bachiga, Bafumbira and Batwa are the oldest Republicans in Uganda.
Kigezi as such.
We are different groupings. Bachiga,
Batwa,
Bafumbira.
And there was no king as such.
In some of these other places, they say every Michiga is a king in their home.
They have always been Republicans.
My great-grandfather called the Katuleje. He resisted them.
Whom I talked about.
This queen mobilized the whole of Kigezi, Rwanda to rebel.
Premiering on Saturday the 4th of May, 3 to 8 p.m. at Ndere Center, Ntinda. To get a ticket, call 0778 787 660. Tuko Pamoja?
We thank you so much for watching. It's UBC News tonight, and we continue. Like I said, as we took the break, we shall have a brief discussion about something pertinent, and that's nothing other than the National Resistance Movement Secretariat is running a program of popularizing the achievements of His Excellency the President. That's, of course, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. So which achievements are these? Why are they popularizing them? Why now? All that is what we're going to discuss. They are represented here by the Director for Mobilization. That's the Honorable Rosemary Seninde. You're most welcome, Honorable.
Thank you very much, my dear.
How are you? How are you at the Secretariat? How is everything?
I'm good, and I want to thank His Almighty God for enabling us to do what we have been able to do and what we continue to do for the country.
We last had you on our screens when you were in Dokolo. How did it go and what next?
Of course, it didn't go well on our side, but we always respect the voice of the people.
Okay. Now, you have a campaign popularizing the achievements of His Excellency, the President. In an introductory view, what is it all about before we go to breaking it down?
Okay, first of all, it is within my mandate to try and engage our people, particularly the young people, and try to remind them on the achievements of NRM, and particularly the achievements of His Excellency the President, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
Yes.
His Excellency from time and again has been guiding us on how to mobilize, because mobilization is not about NRM Oye, President Museveni Oye. It is about trying to relate with the people, trying to understand the interests of the people and their challenges, and be in position to find solutions to those challenges. And I have been moving in the countryside during my mobilization activities. And what I have observed is the mismatch within the perception of our, and the mindset and the attitude of our people, particularly the young ones, on what has been done by the NRM government or the NRM party, but the NRM government and His Excellency the President, the leader of the NRM party.
Some people seem not to know.
It seems some people, particularly the young ones, don't seem to appreciate where we are.
Okay.
It's just because they don't know where we have been. And when you don't want to know where you have been, you can never appreciate where you are, and you'll not be able to understand where you're going. So because of that, I thought it is very necessary, and we think as people of the Secretariat that it is very important that we try to relate with our people, we engage with them to enable them appreciate the good things the NRM party has done, but particularly the father of the nation.
Okay, so that's the target of the initiative.
Yes.
So could you brief the viewers about these achievements? And we hear there are only 10. Why 10?
Okay, first of all, we all appreciate that the NRM government has achieved a lot. President Museveni has done quite a lot. He has done tremendous things in this country. He has achieved quite a lot, and we have achieved a lot. When I move in the countryside, the people have been, you would see what the people are pointing out. The people appreciate the many things that have been done. Of course, there are some with challenges, but of course, among the 10 that we have been able to list are the things that have been coming out as the voice of the people that I have heard.
Okay.
The major 10. One of them is democracy and good governance. Okay. You will appreciate that His Excellency the President, when he came into this leadership, he ensured that Uganda has democracy and good governance. There is freedom of speech, there is freedom of electing our own leaders, there is freedom, and this peace is, and this democracy is what we all enjoy. That is why everybody can come up and decide to stand regardless of who you are, as long as you are above 18. The second one is building a professional and disciplined army force for defense, peace, and security of the country. Okay. We all appreciate that we appreciate the peace that this government ushered in the country. But we cannot forget to accredit it to His Excellency the President. We know where Uganda has been, where in the past, how the security organs used to behave. But when you see where we are now, you see how much has been done. And we must appreciate this. We have Pan-Africanism and regional integration. The kind of relationship we have with the African continent, with the countries in the
Those
African
are three
continent.
so far.
Yes, those are 3 so far. It is because of the leader we have that has enabled to create this relationship. I know in the past, before the NRM government came in power, the relationship between Uganda and its neighbors was not good, was not probably healthy. But you see where we are, and that is accredited to His Excellency the President as a leader. When we look at women emancipation, you'll agree with me that before 1986, few companies could employ women probably. Even those who were employed probably would not get the same share as the men, and yet they were doing the same job. In politics, there were very few women. But when President Museveni came in power, he gave the women a chance to be at the decision-making table, because he realized that the women of Uganda contribute over 70% to our economic development. So that alone has encouraged the women to work. As we speak, almost 80% of the women are breadwinners in their homes. So that emancipation, the education he has given to the women, and we know very well that once you educate a woman, you have educated the nation. So we cannot fail to appreciate His Excellency the President for that. The restoration of the cultural institutions. My friend, you'll agree with me that this is an initiative of His Excellency the President as a person. And of course, for me as a Muganda, when I see the king in the palace, I feel good. I know even other regions where they have kingdoms, they must appreciate. And we cannot forget that these institutions these kingdoms are institutions of governance, leadership, and empowerment, you know. True. And of course, as Africans, we are identified by our cultures, values, and norms. So we cannot fail to appreciate that the restoration of the cultural institutions, it was very key to our country. The fight against HIV and AIDS and COVID-19, of course, much as it is an achievement of our government, but we cannot fail to give credit to the leader. Because just imagine, all countries in the world had COVID.
Yes.
But I think Uganda succeeded most in the fight against COVID-19. When we talk about HIV and AIDS, by now, I'm sure the whole population will be suffering. But because of his guidance, his leadership, he managed to guide Ugandans on the ABC approach. Mama Janet Museveni came out so clearly and guided and helped our people on the mother-to-child transmission of HIV and the prevention of mother-to-child. And that is why we have so many youth now, because they were prevented from dying of HIV, contracting the disease when they were young. The immunization programs also helped our young people. It reduced the infant mortality. And so that is why we have a big population of the youth. So all those things we must credit, we must give credit where it's due. When we talk about the infrastructure development, when we look at the roads that have been built, these roads were not there. Many of them were not there in those days before 1986. But we must appreciate where we are. Yes, I do understand and appreciate that many Ugandans will say the roads are not good. But we must not forget that through the decentralization program, His Excellency has gone ahead has gone ahead to say, let every district manage its infrastructure. They have given equipments. They have given $1 billion to every district per quarter. Per financial year. So we must understand and appreciate that when roads are not worked on in our districts, we must not put the blame on His Excellency the President, because the leaders in the local government are the people that we elect ourselves. So we need to ask them to be accountable. So the roads that are worked on by UNRWA, those ones we must appreciate. There is a big improvement in as far as infrastructure is concerned. When we look at the population of the young people and the challenge we have of unemployment, I think the President has already identified the challenge. Because of the good things he has been able to do through immunization, through the health systems and so on, it has enabled our big population, our population to grow. And he realized that our children must go to school. He gave UPE, he gave USE. We didn't stop at that. He gave opportunities of the quota system, of the extra point to the girl child, of the, you know, the loan scheme, and the State House scholarship. And of course, all these have helped our young people to come through the education system. Okay. And at the end of the day, unemployment became a challenge. He quickly identified a solution to that. He empowered the young people through the skilling programs, the skilling hubs that have been put in various regions. We must appreciate. And of course, this is aimed at helping the young people to be able to get their to build their livelihoods and be able to create their own jobs instead of looking for jobs and complaining all the time that during the NRM government we can't find jobs. So we must appreciate. And then the decentralization, the modernization of agriculture. Those are key things that people have been pointing out. The 4-acre model the president has been talking about every time. He's guiding Ugandans. When you have 4 acres, how you can be able to utilize them and get out of poverty. Not only that, they have given districts equipment to be able to work. It is now our responsibility as leaders to ensure that we guide the young people, not to waste time, but to use all these opportunities and the guidance that has been given by His Excellency the President from time and again to be able to work where they are still strong and add value to their country.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Now, how will you ensure that Ugandans receive and embrace this message that you are putting across?
First of all,
the 10 achievements.
And by the way, I must make it clear once again that the achievements of NRM, and particularly His Excellency the President as a person, because if it wasn't for his leadership, we wouldn't probably maybe reach these achievements, are too many. But like I've said, those ones we have just pointed out because of the voice of the people.
The most shining 10.
Yes. Now, when it comes to how the message will reach the people, it is not the responsibility of only one person or 2 people to deliver this message. It is a responsibility of all of us. And I want to appeal to my fellow leaders, wherever they are, that the responsibility of enabling our young people appreciate where Uganda was and where we are. The achievements we are talking about now is because these are the things is where we are. But where we have been has not been good. And so we must use all platforms. Wherever we are, on all platforms, be it social media, whatever platform it is the responsibility of us leaders. It is the mobilization strategy we must also employ to ensure that our young people get to appreciate the NRM government, and particularly the stewardship of His Excellency the President. Okay. And secondly, it is about our country. We must emphasize these things patriotically, you know. We need to be patriotic and emphasize these things. And it is upon all of us. It is a mandate of all leaders, not only one person. Yes, I appreciate being the director in charge of mobilization.
You carry the biggest part.
Yes, it is the reason I have come out to share this with all of us, with everyone, whoever has seen me or has been seeing this. We have put all this throughout the country. And we want people to remember that if we don't speak, if we don't engage, if we don't explain, if we don't teach our people, our young people, they will never know. Because they were not there in the last days. They have been here during President Museveni's time. And that is why they don't seem to appreciate, because they have seen. The Baganda have a saying that you will never appreciate how good your mother cooks until you test other people's food. So because they never tested the past, Uganda's past, is the reason probably they are taking things for granted.
Okay.
Yes.
So what is the target of this? When some people look at you as a party that has started mobilizing for 2026?
Now, first of all, like I've earlier on said, it is about enabling people appreciate the peace, the achievements, and everything we have been able to see as Ugandans and where we are. These things should not be taken for granted. And I want people to also appreciate that it is, in most cases, people tend to think that everything is about politicking.
But you are a political party.
We are a political party.
Yes.
And we are a political party. Yes, I do appreciate, and we are politicians.
You don't do farming.
Yes, but
You
what
do
I'm
politics.
saying
Yes.
is that every time somebody does good, people think that one wants votes. She's doing this or he's doing that because he wants votes. But it is not about that. It is about us Ugandans to know where we are and why we have been able to reach where we are.
Okay.
We have not reached where we are just by miracle. We have reached where we are because Uganda has had a patriotic, a visionary, a wise, and servant leader.
I have two questions.
In the person of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
That will help throw more light. These are things in the public eye.
Yes.
At the beginning, you said, actually, you have said it a number of times, that you have to help, especially the young people, to appreciate these achievements. Why do you think they don't appreciate them? Because these are things, UPE, I don't think somebody needs to explain it. Why do you think the young people don't appreciate these things?
Like I've already...
What goes wrong? In the very UPEs where you have educated them, they are educated, they have the exposure, why do they not appreciate these achievements?
Like I've already said, it's because they don't know where Uganda has been. It's the reason they are taking it for granted. You know, whenever you take things for granted, you'll always not appreciate what you have. Let me tell you, my friend, it's like you have a wife. Not until that wife leaves your home is when you'll appreciate how good this wife was.
Even a husband.
Or even a husband.
Yeah, before you lose him.
Before you lose him,
yeah,
you can hardly appreciate.
Give a balanced example.
Yes, before a husband or a wife, you can hardly appreciate how good this person and how much he was contributing to your life. Now, the reason why the young people probably, not all of them, by the way, because they are the young people who have gone through UPE, they have gone through USE, they have gone through the university, they have achieved from the NRM government, and those ones really appreciate. But there are those who don't seem to see and appreciate it simply because probably they think maybe where they are would have been better, which would be okay, but because they don't know where the country has been and where His Excellency the President has brought the country.
Do they compare Uganda with the past, or they compare Uganda with countries like in the neighborhood and things like that?
But you will agree with me,
yes,
that we have not, our neighbors and us have not gone through the same challenges. The challenges have been different, and the processes through the NRM government has gone through to reach where we are may not be the same as where probably Kenya or any other country has gone through. So we must appreciate that.
Have we gone through hell than anyone else?
Of course, before the 1986, Uganda was in a terrible situation.
Rwanda will tell you 1994.
The same, yes, I agree.
Yes.
But of course, we must not forget that everything that has to be, and by the way, when I talk about democracy, you know, there are people who say that some of our achievements may be our challenges. The kind of freedom that His Excellency and the government, the NRM government, has given to the people of Uganda may even be misused. The opportunities and the achievements, many of them may be misused.
How?
Like I've given you the freedom of speech. People, instead of using it to do things that can develop our country, that can develop them and our country, use them differently. Some of them, particularly the young people. I don't need to go into the detail for now, but I'm sure our viewers and whoever is interested in listening to what I'm saying would agree with me. So we must be able to enable our people, understand that you will never know where you are going unless you know where you are coming from, and be able to appreciate where you are in order to plan and prepare and appreciate where you are going.
Okay.
And even where His Excellency or the leader of this government has been able to help us
Actually,
reach.
some clarity on that. As a party, okay, he is the leader. Why do you attach the achievements of you as a party to him as a person?
Because of his leadership. Everything dies because of a leader. Okay. I'm assuring you, Uganda has had leaders before. And you will agree with me. How many leaders have we had since before 1986? They are there in number. And why weren't things the way they are now? It is all about leadership. Even in your home, the way you manage your home may be different from the way somebody else manages his home.
Can we really attribute a situation to one factor?
Let me tell you,
leadership?
Of course it cannot be to one factor. But the reason why I emphasize this is because if it wasn't for His Excellency the President in his leadership styles and the way he manages the country, the patriotic way, his wise leadership, his visionary leadership, I'm sure probably things wouldn't be the way they are.
Thank you, Honorable.
So we must honor him. We must appreciate him.
So how far are you going to go with this program, and what kind of targets are you looking at?
Of course.
The program of popularizing these achievements.
Of course, it is our responsibility, like I've already said,
yes,
with other leaders, all of us in the countryside, whether you are NRM or not, because not only NRM people are the ones benefiting in the achievements, from the achievements of NRM.
True.
But every Ugandan does. And let me tell you, if we lose the peace we have, I know whether you are NRM or not, you will not enjoy your country. We've seen countries which are not peaceful, and we've seen what they are going through. And I don't think there is any Ugandan who would want to go back to that kind of situation, because we've ever gone through it. So we are trying we shall be able to move as leaders, and we are going to continue talking about these things, enlightening our people, but also trying to understand where they think we need to do more.
Okay.
Yes.
What would be your last message to the young people especially?
I want to first of all thank the people of Uganda for those who have been able to understand and appreciate the message that His Excellency the President has been giving and guiding the people. I want to encourage, because His Excellency the President has from time and again emphasized that if we want to get out of poverty, we must put emphasis on agriculture. We must engage and get involved in agriculture for those who have the land where to do it and those who can be able to do it. He has emphasized that we must engage in industries, small industries, cottage industries, value addition, for those who can do that. Services. You look at the boda industry. Those guys are providing a service. The taxi drivers are offering a service. The hairdressing salons are offering a service. So all those are jobs that are helping them to earn a living. The women in the markets are doing a service. But he has also emphasized ICT. So I want to appeal to the young people, because they still have the energy to work. It is not about running after this and that and, following things that don't help them, going for betting. They must know how to use their time when they still have it, using the opportunity that has been given by this government. The opportunities of PDM, Emyoga, all those opportunities have been given. The youth funds, the women funds, all those opportunities have been provided. Use those opportunities and engage into some of these ventures, into these enterprises, and be able to add value to yourself and to your country. So I'm appealing to the young people to remember that this is the time. And once you lose that time, you may never gain it again.
We thank you so much.
I want to thank you very much for hosting me.
You're most welcome.
But most of all, I want to thank the people of Uganda who have supported the NRM party. And of course, I continue to call upon our people to always remember that we are all Ugandans. We must love our country in order to enjoy it.
I agree 100%.
Your freedom, you must remember that also others need that freedom. So it is not about misusing the opportunity that has been given because you are exercising your freedom to disorganize other people's peace.
That is very true.
Yes.
Her name is the Honorable Rosemary Seninde. She's the Director for Mobilization, the National Resistance Movement Secretariat. She is running a campaign to popularize the achievements of His Excellency, the President, that's Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. We thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you at 10 p.m. with another bulletin. Keep it UBC TV. Bye-bye.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
On Wednesday, the 1st of May 2024, Uganda will join the rest of the world to commemorate the International Labour Day, a day celebrated to recognize the contribution of labour towards the social, economic and political development of the country. This year's celebrations will be held at Mukabura grounds in Fort Portal City on the theme, Improving Access to Labour Justice, a prerequisite for increased productivity. The celebrations will be cast live on UBC TV, all our radio stations and social media platforms. Don't miss. Happy Labour Day.
Today, retiring from active service, I greet you all in the name of our great and strong Uganda People's Defense Forces.
Uganda was at the verge of total collapse. It took the command-in-chief to raise the occasion, rallying Ugandans